good morning, dear ones. Reverend Robert Brzezinski with you this morning, and I have with me, today is June 18th, I have a great and lovely, amazing guest. Reverend Cynthia James is with us.
Happy to be here, Robert. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So glad to have you with us. And so here we are, folks, every morning, 8:15 a.m., 8:15 p.m. We do prayer work here on Facebook and YouTube, wherever it feels, whichever works for you. And we want you to know you can always send your prayer requests directly to me, revbriz@spiritevolving.com. We'll make sure that get those in my prayer book. We can share those prayers in this broadcast. Anything you want to do, if you want to get together and talk about it, just you and me on the phone, we can do that as well. Do people still use phones? Okay, enough of that jibber jabber. The real reason that I'm excited for this morning, and I'm excited that Reverend Cynthia James is with us. She was one of my teachers in ministerial school. I've always considered Cynthia a mentor and someone that I look to and am inspired by, and I'm always aware of what you're up to and what's out there. And we really only have one question on this program. In the midst of what's happening in the world, what's been in your prayers? What's been in your thoughts? What would you have us know this day?
Well, the first thing is I'm completely sure that we're in the middle of a huge transformative moment, that the events and things that we're looking at, pandemic, protests around the world, all of that is because a portal has opened for humanity to awaken. And so what I'm seeing is it's like where we've been asleep, where we've turned our backs on things because we just didn't want to be involved, where we've avoided conflict, whatever has been going on, that we are asked to tap into our spiritual awareness, our connectivity to the whole. Remember that we're all connected. If something's happening to one, it's happening to all. And for all of us to say, no more will I be silent. I must stand up for peace. I must stand up for unity. I must stand up for wholeness. I must stand up that every person on this planet feels safe, loved, supported, and guided. And so, when those kinds of transformative moments happen, it's messy. And so I think that that's what we're looking at. We don't know how to do this. We've never been here before this way. And so I think that what's happening is that people are trying to figure it out. How do you deal with a quarantine? What do you do when things are supposed to open, but you're not sure if you're safe? What do you do when you see the challenges that have happened for people of color historically for, hundreds of years, and how do we look at a system that is not set up for the whole? So I just think I'm excited about it. There are moments I'm extraordinarily sad. I'm an African-American woman. I've worried about my children their whole lives, with what's gone on in the streets. And I'm extraordinarily glad that people, young, old, Black, white, Latino, Asian, are in the street saying, no more. We have to deal with wholeness.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And we don't plan these things, folks, but I think it's incredibly appropriate. You're here on Juneteenth. It's an important day, and it's a day, and I believe, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is, it's time for so many to not only wake up, but for many of us to re-educate ourselves. And this has been my work over the last few weeks. I'm reading books that I haven't read in years. I'm reading new books. I'm watching films. I'm re-evaluating what I thought I knew was American history, and especially Black American history, and what I thought I knew. And I'm learning so much that I didn't really know. And so we are in the midst, I agree, we're in the midst of a great awakening, folks, and a big thing that's going to move us through all of this is prayer work. So we're going to move into some prayer here. This is what we call a spiritual mind treatment. So remember, this is not begging, this is not beseeching, this is not trying to, con God into believing what we believe. This is an affirmative process of opening to a truth that we know and allowing for a revelation of a greater truth to be known. And so Reverend Cynthia is going to get us started. At some point, Spirit will nudge her and say, okay, time to pass that along, and it'll come my way. I'll wrap it up, and we'll share a few more thoughts and get you into your day. So, Reverend Cynthia, please take us away.
So thank you. So let's take a moment, and wherever you're sitting, I just invite you to breathe into that seed and be reminded that that seed is supporting you without any effort. And so goes the universe. That there is a divine intelligence, an all-pervasive power, a deep and extraordinary knowing that is operating in a field as a field of infinite possibilities, and that I am an expression of that field, of that intelligence, of that power. And whatever you choose to call it, God, spirit, universe, wholeness, oneness, it is absolutely the same thing. We are part of a collective consciousness here that is so powerful, so extraordinary, ever evolving, ever expanding. And in every single moment, we get to choose to be awaken to the knowledge that that power, that energy, that light, that love, that generosity, and that harmony lives within us, as us, and through us. And so it's from this place that I speak this word for this moment, because I believe we are in a conscious revolution, a call to be awakened, to listen, to think, to collaborate, to understand, to absolutely be in a place of a soul listening to what people need, because we all need the same things. We all need to be loved, to be held, to be supported, to be honored, to be respected, to be safe, to be resourced. And so because of that, we can open our hearts to an inclusion that is beyond our wildest imaginings, something that has never been experienced before, because now the collective stands in that willingness. So we lift up our planet. We lift up every man, woman, and child on this planet. We lift up the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the water kingdom. The people who are on the front lines right now supporting the pandemic, the people who are challenged with the pandemic in this moment, people who are without work, people who are struggling. What we know in this moment is prayer works, love works. So we send out love into this planet, into this universe, reminding every single person that they matter, that they are important, that their existence here is essential, and they are here by a divine appointment. Because I know that to be true, I claim it and hold it in the perfect power that lives within me, and in a deep and abiding gratitude that we are one and something miraculous is unfolding. And from this place, I pass the prayer.
Mm-hmm. And I too feel that vibration of love, recognize the truth that is revealing itself, that this great revelation that is happening right here on planet Earth, right before our very eyes, this grand revelation of a glorious vision, a vision of a world that works for everyone, a vision of a world where borders are irrelevant, where forgiveness of debts is the norm, where everyone works together to create heaven on earth, to create an experience of connection and oneness, to be and live the oneness that we all already are. I can feel the energetic vibration swirling across the planet at this time as everyone, so many people, so many right here, awakening to their own magnificence. And so I claim for each one that hears these words now at another time, that same experience, the experience of saying, yes, I shall awaken, yes, I shall serve, and enough is enough, that I shall no longer give my thought, my energy to the old systems, to the old paradigms. I will be part of the change. I will be part of the transformation. That is the great calling upon humanity here and now, to be in that place, to be the absolute hands of God, bringing the gifts that each one has. For I know that within each there is a unique set of gifts and skills and talents at beckoning to be brought forth. And I claim for each one here, again, that sacred yes to serve in whatever way is called, to be an ally, to be a champion, to be the truth revealing, to be God revealing itself on this planet. So I know there is this great awakening, this great revelation of vision. And each moment is another aspect of that vision, another brushstroke upon that painting that brings humanity into its next great expression of beingness, that allows us to make this leap along this evolutionary journey. And at the center of it all, I recognize that it's all God. The things I don't like, the things I don't understand, the people I disagree with, I come back to the truth that it's still God. And so there is a healing happening, there is a growth happening, there's an evolution happening, and I am just thrilled to be a part of it all. To be witness to it, to be a voice within it, to be the hands that bring forth this new world, this new way of being and living on planet Earth. I'm most especially grateful to know that it is truly not I doing this work, but God doing this work through me. And so I can get out of the way. I can release this word. I can be in that state of absolute gratitude for the truth that is revealed and for the fact that God's got this. And I get out of the way. And so I release this word into the law that must demonstrate, the law that is already operating upon this word, upon this truth, and bringing forth everything necessary to fulfill this prayer. And so I know it is done in the mind of God, and I let it be. And if any of this has resonated in any way, please join us in an affirmation of this truth as we say together. And so it is. And so it is. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning, dear one. It's great praying with you. It's been a while. Ready.
Love it. And I love what you're doing. Really love what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Folks, there is a couple ways you can stay in touch with Reverend Cynthia. Please do check out her website, cynthiajames.net. She also here on Facebook as well. And I tell you, there's just all kinds of great work. Reverend Cynthia does amazing work. And from my perspective, I think the one thing I've always honored and appreciated is you come from a place of absolute heart. And I just jumped into an old conversation you and I had probably almost 10, 12 years ago now. Even when you've got to call somebody on their stuff, which is what that conversation was, you do it in a loving, heartfelt way that, so even when I was wrong, you helped me see the light, and I appreciate that. So thank you for being with me.
I love you.
Love you too. Folks, we'll be back tonight, 8:15 p.m. with evening prayers. Please plan to join us then. And again, please connect with Reverend Cynthia Facebook or on her main website, cynthiajames.net. Until next time, dear ones, peace and blessings. Be the light. We'll see you soon. Bye now.